Hey everybody, Garcia here, and today we're taking a look at the latest expansion to 51st State Master Set. This is Allies. In this 50-card expansion, you are going to be diving headfirst into some conflicts in this post-apocalyptic world. The idea is there are these three factions running around out there, and you are going to be allying with some through the cards that you play, and shunning others through the cards that possibly you destroy. You're going to be having to play the game, score your victory points, but also utilize these new tools that the factions bring you in a smart and clever way. So we're going to go ahead and cut down to the table. I'm going to show you what comes in here, give you a quick overview of the cards. I'm not going to be explaining 51st State itself. If you don't know how to play the game, of course, go check out our video for that. But if you are ready to find out what's in here and how it all works together, you're in the right place. Let's go ahead and check it out. In the expansion, you're going to get a new deck of 50 cards. You're going to get the rulebook, of course, and a group of tokens here that represent the three different factions that the deck adds to the game. So you're going to shuffle these 50 cards with the 88 in the original 51st State deck, and then you're going to play with that. All right, so we're going to move this out of the way, move the rulebook, and I'll explain what this set of cards introduces. As you can see, I've laid out three cards here, and these represent the three different factions that you are going to find in the game now. And you can use them to your advantage. You can ally with them, you can attack them, all of those things. Besides giving you new powers, these factions are going to give you these contact tokens to the matching type of card. So we've got over here the Uranopolis faction. You're going to get these tokens. These are contact tokens. They behave exactly the same way as these do, but we'll come back to that in just 1 second. We've got here Sharash, you'll get these tokens from them, and the Iron Gang, and you'll get these tokens from them. All of the cards in the set have in the deal section of the card the ability to take one of these tokens. And there's many other ways to get these tokens as well, such as through their powers or maybe just raising the card, that sort of thing. So the idea is, let's say I have this junkyard mech in my hand. Let's move these out of the way for right now. And let's say during my production, I make one of these tokens. This is in my hand. This is in my pool, as well as these tokens. If I want to build this card, I can build it by spending, it's a distance 2, this normal contact token, the gray one, and one of the Uranopolis faction, and build this card. I could also do this by spending simply 2 gray tokens, that's fine, or even by spending 2 of the Uranopolis tokens without using any of these standard gray contact tokens. So that's one way to do it. Now, let's say I want to make a deal with this card. Same thing. I would turn it, I would tuck it under my faction, and I could spend that combination of tokens, I could spend that combination of tokens, or just the standard combination of 2 blue contact tokens. And then lastly, to attack one of these cards is going to be a little bit different, because the idea is you're going to use the alliance of the other factions to attack this faction. So let's say what I've got in my pool instead is 1 Shiraj token and 1 from the Iron Gang, and this is everything I've got in my pool. Well, let's say I want to attack this card because I want those 2 gears and the victory points. I could spend the 2 red tokens as normal, right? So I could spend that. I could also spend tokens from the factions that this does not belong to. So I could spend these 2 tokens. Or I could even spend 2 Iron Gang tokens. As long as none of them are Uranopolis, then I'm good. And I can even, of course, combine them like that to tear this card down. So that's how these contact tokens are going to work. As I said, besides all of that, the cards are going to give you a bunch of new abilities, different twists on things we've seen before. So the ones we've got here, for example, Desert Rider here says for an action I can spend 1 Iron Gang contact token, and I would get 1 red and 1 gray contact token. This one says for an action I can spend a resource to gain 2 victory points, put that in the supply, and then I give a matching resource to my opponent. And then this one has a feature. It does nothing else except a building bonus when it comes into play. And it allows me to spend 3 gears to gain 4 victory points. One time, immediately when I build it. But there's a ton more things in there. I'll just show you a few of them so you can see the kinds of things you can expect. Again, as I said, they all have the same thing in the deal section, so you'll be easily able to get the infrastructure going to start earning those coins there. And some of the powers here are pretty wild things, very interesting, very different than anything we've seen before. So there you go. It's just a glance at some of them. So to give you an idea of the powers contained here, what you can expect. This is really going to change up the game, but we're going to talk about that a little bit more in my overview. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what to expect. Let's go back up top. Let me tell you what I think of it. And that is the Allies expansion to 51st State Master Set. So first and foremost, I am a huge fan of 51st State. It's one of my absolute favorite games of all time. And so it's safe to say I was really, really excited about this expansion. Now, there's been one expansion before called Scavengers, which I thought was very, very good. It really kind of changed up the feel of the game. It gave you a new deck of cards, but also another secondary deck that you set up to the side and you can mess with. There's a nice change. It changed quite a few rules in the game. It introduced the concept of there's not a single discard pile. Now every player has their own discard pile. So it had a little bit of a rules overhead, but it was a really neat concept. This one manages to turn the game on its head with a couple of rules. This is spectacular. It's a stroke of genius. I think it is. And it reinvigorates the game. It gives you so much injected into the concepts at play already that I think it's a spectacular expansion. So let me go ahead and dive into it, all right? So theme, the first thing, it grows the world in a really effortless way. It gives you more cards, yes, but more story, more background, more factions at play, more, just again, population in this post-apocalyptic world. And it does that in a really clean, simple way with not a whole lot of rules. The aesthetics are also great. New artwork in this is fantastic. There's some new iconography, but it's all really clean. You're going to get just a few tokens. They're clearly represented on the cards. Card types are clearly represented on the new cards. It is, again, effortless to play this. Replayability. Tons of new avenues for strategy and tactics and who you ally with and what you do with those new tokens and what new ways to make points or put pressure on your opponent you choose to pursue. There's so much here. I think it's a brand new blooming of ways to tackle the game. The game length I found to be unaffected. It does feel like you are deploying more cards in this game. Every time I've played, I've noticed the players around the table seem to have bigger tableaus at the end of it. That's not bad, but I think it's a side effect of there being more tokens in play. More contact tokens, you'll make more deals, you'll build more cards. So I don't think that necessarily prolongs the game because you're still racing to 25 points. That's the same. But it does make for a larger tableau with more special effects. Not a bad thing. Ease of play. I think, as I wrote here, I think it's a stroke of genius. It adds so much to the game, but you need to learn 2 new rules, right? That's it. There is no new deck of cards set on the side. There is no new concept. There is nothing twisty about this. It makes sense. It makes thematic sense. How you can use these tokens to help these people be part of your nation, or you can use them against other people to hurt them. That's it. So it really works for me. And then lastly, tactics and strategy. I don't know what else I can say. Yes, 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 yes. Very good stuff. So 51st State Allies expansion here is a masterwork. I think it is absolutely the best thing I could have hoped for, which is so much more theme, tactics, strategy, cool new powers, the ability to get new things you weren't expecting to get while learning almost nothing new. That's the pinnacle of expansions, right? So much that's new, yet it feels like I don't have to learn all these new things. So this gets a very strong seal of excellence from me. I cannot recommend this enough. If you like 51st State, you gotta get on this. You're really gonna enjoy it. So again, seal of excellence from me for Allies expansion. I'm Z Garcia. I'm gonna go play this game, and I'll see you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com.